How are we, sir?
I am good. How are you doing?
I am good, my man. We were chatting for we could have literally recorded that and be like Tom and Jerry in our heads.
Yeah, it would have
I'm
been.
glad we didn't record that.
There's a
Um,
lot going on there.
there was a lot of just wants to get off our chest and
Yeah, I'm relaxed now. I'm relaxed now, though.
exactly
All
just
that,
put you at ease. It
all
takes a
that pent
bit
up
of
fucking
foreplay off the mind.
rage.
So for anyone who isn't aware of who you are, give us a little bit of a blind date elevator pitch.
Well, I'm Ger from Lift and Laugh Fitness. I've had my own gym since 2020, off the back of spending time over in the States, over and back the years before that, coaching rugby with youth rugby associations in Vermont. I ended up getting an assistant coaching job with Harvard ladies rugby team. Somehow managed to swing that. Came back then to do an S&C course so I could put an extra feather in my cap just to go back to America. And I started coaching some of my friends, some of their partners inside in the gym. And then I remember inside in the gym, and one of the girls was like, I don't know, we must have made a dirty joke inside in the middle of the gym. The two of us were rolling around the ground laughing, and she was like, just set up your own gym and call it like lifting and laughing. And I was like, hmm, right, it's not a bad idea. And then I started looking at getting jobs in other gyms, and that's kind of where it led to I'm just gonna fucking do this myself, because couldn't get a job anywhere. Now that might have been part of my problem as well. But yeah, it led to setting up my own place, which started with one little room, on to three now. I'm on a roster of what, 28, 30 clients. Um, Best thing ever that happened was not getting a job from someone else in another gym. And it kind of brought me here, like, it's even being asked to be on that podcast. Like, I was saying to the lads, like, I've been asked on a few podcasts of doing stuff with Carla, we both know the last while, had my own event the other week. It's kind of mad. It's kind of mad to think about it that, like, a lot of the things I'm doing now, if you had told me this is actually what I'd end up doing back in 2019, 2020, it's what I would have wanted, but I wouldn't have believed it would happen. So it's a bit mad to kind of look back now that I'm doing what I wanted to do, which is pretty cool.
And it's cool that you've got the people you're surrounding yourself with. Like he's talking about Carl O'Rourke, who's a good pal and a pal of the show and stuff like that. And Carl is a good man for like challenging you and
Get
making
your
you.
Oh, Carl gets you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, Carl will push you out of your comfort zone. So he'll call you
He's
out in his bullshit, but don't deal with his own.
he's
Um,
done that. Like I know him through my physio. My physio lived up in Bray, and he introduced me to him. And my physio now jokes, he was like, "You're better friends with Carl than I am." He's like, you see him more." But like Carl had me on a podcast for him years ago. I think I did a webinar for his clients, another podcast. I think was it 2 summers ago or a summer ago? Was
last
that
summer,
one? Was it last summer?
last summer. So not the summer, just not summer 25, summer 24.
Summer 24. He had asked me to come up and do a talk for some of his clients, and I was like, "Oh yeah, cool. What the fuck am I going to talk to them about?" And he was like, "Everything that you've done, everything that you've gone through." And I was like, "Right, great. I'm going to talk to him about 28 years of demons." I was like, "Let's roll with that." And he was like, I think about a week before, he was like, "So you're going to do it with Kelly?" And I was like, "Kelly," and he was like, "Kelly Fennel," and I was like, "Oh, right, that's great. Thanks." I'm like, can't wait to do this talk with someone who's like been to IFS, who's business that I like, look up to. And like, obviously, social media game. I know we talk about like following numbers and different stuff shouldn't be seen as a big deal, but when you feel like you're a fucking minnow in a sea, and you see that you're going to do a talk with someone who's like 800 odd thousand followers and a big business platform, you're kind of like, oh shit. And I think I remember the night before I was having a pint with a few friends, and they're like, "What are you going to talk about?" And I was like, "Everything." I'm gonna tell them everything. And they were like, everything, everything. Like, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, the history of everything that led to getting here. And they were like, do you think that's a good idea? I'm like, probably not, but they don't pay me to coach them, so it'll be okay. So yeah, it is cool. It is cool. Like John, we talked about the event there before the podcast that I did last week. Like even the panel of speakers, like I was pinching myself, John, the lead up to it. That like I have a few friends that are into fitness, and they were all like, "How'd you swing that?" And I was like, "I, I don't know. I met a few of these people. I've talked to them online. Like I know Sophia Harris and Sky Elizabeth Hill. Like I don't ever talk to them online. Like I picked them up in the airport before the event. That was the first time I met them face to face, and like." I think Sophia has another event at the end of the month that I'm going to over in Leeds, and like I'm doing MC for that. I think I'm on a few panels, and she told me, and another girl was like, "Don't have any anxiety," and I was like, "That's fucking easy for you to say." I was like, "I'm riddled with anxiety." I was like, "You're getting to go to events to people you look up to." Do you know, it's a part of the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. Like even like was it that event Carl had with Neve O'Donovan? It was last year, wasn't it?
Last year, yeah.
It was last year, yeah, up in Block. Like
Mhm.
you were speaking at that, and um even asking me onto this podcast, like excited, like excited, anxious as well because I unfortunately will say whatever will come out of my mouth, which is the other problem. But like, it's a cool place to be. Um, like a lot of my friends talk to me about it. They're like, this is what you said you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like I've had a few people like this. It's awful, but I've had a few people come up to me like in a supermarket or on a night out, and like obviously you're when you're with your mates, you get the piss taken out of you. And like I only had someone there the other day. I was at the Cook medical charity run thing there on Sunday, and I had this lady message me, and she was like, I was sure it was you, but I was too afraid to come over and say hello. And I was like, I'm more afraid of you than you are of me. Yeah. And I'm like,
But it's class to see, and when you're doing something like going over to, I've had Sophia on a couple of times, and she's got the event over in Leeds next month, I think it is.
and
Um
yeah, end of this
yeah.
month.
So like it's class to see. I think where we're gonna go down is we're gonna get a memory lane, and we're gonna go down your backstory because I think it's Frank.
Yeah, Frank,
Don't
my inner
introduce people to
troll.
Frank and let people know about Frank.
So we all have that inner voice. I often joke that I have hundreds of them, but we'll just say that's we won't get down that fucking rabbit hole. But we all have an inner critic. We all have that voice that tells us we're not good at doing something, or body shames us, or it's the thing that gets us in the way of doing the things we want to do, or finding that little bit of peace in the day. And I decided, I think it is a cognitive therapy technique where
Yeah.
you name that critic, and I decided to call it Frank. And Frank is my troll, and I always kind of mix him up as like think of like Danny DeVito's character Frank in Always Sunny in Philadelphia, right? That kind of style, but mixed with like a troll under a bridge. That kind of that morphed in, and it's every time I say something negative or bad about myself, it's Frank. It's Frank that's doing it. So I always try to say, fuck you, Frank. And I tell everyone, name your troll.
Yeah.
Come up with a name. It is that bit freeing. Now, don't get me wrong, it still takes that bit of work. There's always, like before the event, I was freaking out, and like one of my friends who was helping me with it, they were like, "That's Frank," and I'm like, "That's Frank. It's Frank. Fuck you, Frank." And I'm like, "Get out of my way." So like, I'm dealing with Frank for a long, long time, and it's sad like that we'll all have that inner voice that stops us from doing the things we love, whether it's going to the beach and not wanting to go into the water because you don't like how you feel at that moment in time in your body. But there's also, I find, there's a nice side of it that like I wouldn't be where I am now doing what I'm doing without Frank. I've had to work to be able to get through certain things. It's easier for me to talk to people about this stuff because I have Frank. He's never fucking off. He's always going to be there. But it's that little extra challenge, like I don't like running. I've decided to take it up because I want to join the cult for some fucking reason.
Why are you doing that to yourself?
I want to live forever and give revenue more money.
Do high rocks. It's easier.
Do you know what? I don't know. I don't know if I'm that level of a cult yet. I think just the simple
You haven't
running.
got full Carl then.
Haven't gone full Carl now. I'm probably going to end up doing one
Yeah,
just
you
so I
will.
can
You're
tell,
friends with Carl. You will.
and like it's just tell people to shut up. Like I had someone telling me the best technique for a sled push. And like this person probably be around Carl's size, like about 60, 65, maybe 70 kilos in and around there. I've played rugby since I'm 5 years old. Pushing a sled ain't the thing I'm going to have an issue with in Irox.
Yeah,
That's not the problem I'm going to have. I think all the stations are going to be fine. It is quite simply the running.
yeah.
That's,
But you'll be fine. You'll
yeah.
be fine.
I'm
And
stubborn enough.
how would you advise someone that to kind of like because we as you said we all have it with that kind of like voice in our head kind of telling us not to go for things and being hard on ourselves if maybe it doesn't go according to whatever way we thought it was going to go. So how do we kind of stop that being hard on yourself?
I suppose everyone will always, tell you feel the fear and do it anyway, or what's the worst that could happen, and like you hear all these things, and you're like, oh yeah, fuck off. But like it's and like I've done it before. Like someone's like, "Well, I plan out every scenario in my head for everything." Like that's we go back to the ADHD and stuff. There's so many red strings connected to so many things up inside my brain that I have imagined the worst case scenario. I imagined the tent burning down for my event the other weekend, and
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah, someone was like, "All right, so that's the worst thing that can happen." I'm like, "Yeah, but if it burnt down, people will also remember it." And I'm like, "So you gotta." So it's the kind of thing is it could be shit. Whatever you're about to do could be shit, but you won't know unless you do it. You
What
can't.
lesson did you take from your talk,
Um,
from the
I
event?
suppose it took until about 5:30, quarter to 6 in the evening when I was sitting down at the after event social barbecue with a pint and food, and I could just feel this decompressed, like the shoulders dropped, and I was like, oh, I've fucking done it.
Yeah.
I've done it. I've got a group of 9 people together that I think are amazing. And I had people at the event who didn't even really want to be at the event. They were brought by someone else, really enjoy it, which was the big thing. And just the whole fact that I ran my first event. I ran it. It went well. Like I had one of the speakers, I think it was Sophia, said to me, she was like, "I only realized this is your first event." And I'm like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Oh, my first one was a train wreck. You did very well." And I was like, "Oh, that's good to know. That's great. I don't think I want to run one for the rest of this year anyway. I'm gonna fucking wait till next year." The anxiety around it, but like, I had imagined everything that would go wrong. Technology not working, extra speakers not showing up. The room being like, I'd say it was about 10, 15, about maybe 15 plus minutes before kickoff for the event, and the room was pretty fucking empty, and I was freaking out over that. And like I said to someone, I think I might have said it to Carl. I was like, "Yeah, I hope people start arriving." And he was like, "Who cares? We'll have a great day anyway." And it's the kind of thing is like it's an awful bit of advice to give someone for like fuck it and do it anyway.
Yeah.
Fuck it, like
Yeah.
just
Well,
keep
we
it. Fuck it, fuck it, fuck it. Like what? Like I don't thoroughly enjoy getting my kit off going to the beach all the time. You have good days, you have bad days. You have days where you're feeling yourself, But I'm fucking solid in the water, man. I'm a dinghy with a motor engine when I get inside there. It's a shock when you like, most people look at the size of me. I'm like, I'm pretty good in the sea. If I stopped myself from driving there or getting out of the car or taking off my clothes or my dry robe or stop myself from walking into the water, I wouldn't get to do one of the things that brings me peace. And I talked to Carol about this on another podcast. I'm like, not a lot of things help my brain turn off, and it won't always fully turn off in the water. But like, I think I made a comment, and it's kind of dark. But it's like the water, the sea, mostly the sea. I think it's the big open element. It's the only place I don't feel like I'm drowning, you know?
Yeah.
And if I was to allow how I'm feeling that day about my body or how I'm feeling about something else stop me from going doing something that I actually enjoy doing, I'm going to be more miserable and I'm going to find it harder to do every time I stop myself from doing it. Um, to run net, like I played sports my entire life. You know, rugby mostly, played GAD, did all the rest of them. Don't mind running in those. Like, wasn't obviously the fittest I could be, but I got through it. Straight line running or running around the trail is the most boring thing in the world, and it. I don't know how people's brains turn off for it because I said to someone, I was like, all I have is like a playlist of AC/DC, Metallica, and everything going on, and all my thoughts. I was like, that's what happens. But like, I think I what did seven, so I do 14 runs after not running for at least 2 years after my shoulder injury and did the 10K. You know, it's like you can do like don't get me wrong, could have done it a little bit a better time, it could have been a little bit easier, but like I finished it
It wasn't about
and
time.
it was about getting it done. And like the longest I had done in the last while was 2 9K runs. And like in my head I was like, well, it's only an extra kilometer, you know, I can do that. Day of the race, Sunday, my mate turned to me and he was like, he was doing it. And he was like, and I don't get nervous before stuff like this. And he was like, but I've had a couple of nervous poos now before doing it. And I was like, oh yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. And even like just before the race, I was like, I think I had to go pee twice. And I was just like, I just want this to be over and done with. I need to just start. I was like, this waiting around. I was like, I want to finish. And then you see all the people and you're like, what if I don't finish this race? What if I can't actually fucking? And I was like, I thought about not. I think there were so many people there at the start and I was waiting for people to arrive. I thought about going home. I was like, I'll just do the 10K on my own somewhere where no one can watch me. It'll be fine. And even if I don't finish it, it'll be grand. But like, it's that thing is it goes back to Frank. It's just you.
And let's hone in a bit more on just you in relation to your kind of background and stuff like that. Because I think from following you for a while and having been chatting to you and stuff like that, you've had a background with kind of the food side of things in relation to maybe not the healthiest relationship with it, as in
I'd
both
say
sides of it.
I'd say both all
Yeah,
sides in the
all right,
middle.
yeah,
Like I used to always joke I was probably the one of the first to start like fat burners. You know, back when I was 16, 17 playing rugby, I was playing Munster schools and stuff. I was like I had a coach, great S&C, but the way they went about coaching nutrition back then wasn't the healthiest thing. Like I was tracking with a notebook, you know, you're writing down but you were berated then in front of people for like what you ate. So like I always go back to like the why the fuck are you eating a chicken stuffing sandwich? And I was like, because it tastes good is the first thing. And I was like, but you weren't told, you know, what you could do to make that lunch more beneficial for what you're trying to do.
yeah.
You were told that, no, that's shit, you need to do this. So like that started the poor relationship with fat burners. I was the only person in our Irish class with Mrs. Sullivan that was allowed to walk out of class to go to the toilet because you had to go to the toilet about like fucking 12 times a day. You know, and like I always joke, like you see newer versions of them now and they're put in like fancy packaging being sold by beauty companies. And like I even had it out with a therapist I knew that I was like, you're selling a fat burn, and they're like, no, 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 no. You know, I've worked with nutrition. They're like, this is different. And I was like, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, It's a cunt. I was like, it's full of shit. Like, you know, I was like, do you just put a different product in it, a load of vitamin C, vitamin D, and maybe milk thistle to make you think it's fucking magic? But like, that was 17 years old. Always, kind of, you're always struggling with weight anyway. Now, playing rugby, you kind of got away with it because I ran over people for 80 minutes. Do you know, it was like being big was pretty handy to fucking have in a full contact sport. But like, I was 15 stone at 15. I think, like, literally a stone every year. But like, I have a photo back when I was playing Munster schools. I was solid. You know, I was a solid 17 stone, skin tight jersey. Actually looked pretty good in it. But like, didn't understand my nutrition. Body image, self worth was in the fucking toilet. I remember going to college. I think I hurt my shoulder, probably the first one of the first times I hurt my shoulder. And instead of doing my rehab, I decided to, I'm in college, fuck this now, I'm gonna party. And went down the other side of eating and everything like that. And I think I blew up to it's about I was about 150 kilos in around, so it's what, it's like 23 and a half stone, is it? In and around there. But like 150 kilos of like not able to lift anything heavy.
What height are you?
I like to say 5'10", but if we be honest, I'm about 5'9" and a bit, maybe.
Okay. Because to put that in context, like there's French rugby players who are 150 kg and they're like six foot
They're
10,
six
11
foot,
foot.
yeah. So they're 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
So like, no, like I was useless. Like, you know, like I couldn't go up and down a couple of flights of stairs without going out of breath or sweaty. Body image was atrocious. Like, you know, it was just nothing but baggy clothes, not wanting to take your clothes off from a bit stopped. Like my mates and myself, we'd all go camping, and I'd always have a reason not to go swimming. You know, either like, oh no, I'm just going to sit here and relax and have a drink or have a smoke or do some of that. You always had a reason you wouldn't take your clothes off from it. Like even to the point, I think was our 6th year holiday. It wasn't too long, like, after leaving 6th year, I started to gain weight again. Because it was obviously not playing rugby, you were not using fat burners, and you were free, I suppose. I think I remember the lads in Portugal wanted to go off and do something, and I left them go off for the day, saying I was tired, so I could lie out in the sun on my own by the pool with just a pair of shorts on and feel comfortable about it. And I think I've only told a few people that in the last while, and it's sad on multiple levels. It's sad that like I was in a place where I couldn't just have my top off and enjoy being in the water or being in the sun. And also sad that like some of the closest people in my life, I wasn't comfortable enough in myself to literally not have my top on around them. And like geez, we had a big night out there in May. Some of us know each other 23 to 28 years. And it's only like what, you're 18 years old, couldn't do it. So like it kind of snowballed then, just kept getting worse in college, gained all that weight, went down the party lifestyle. And I think it was towards the last year of college, like in the last year of college, maybe around 2012. I think we were at a I was in college in Cork. We were at a big party in Galway, and there was a photo taken of the group. It was put up on Facebook or something like that. And I remember looking around at the photo, and I couldn't find myself in the photo at the start. That was kind of the bit of the wake up call. Uh, and what then I'd moved to the States, traveled around there. Party scene was big, but like I was doing things. I knew how to lose weight. You knew how to cut
Yeah.
out different foods, blah blah blah. Obviously, partying more meant you weren't eating as much anyway, so you were losing weight, you were on your feet all the time, fucking dancing or tearing around the place, so you had that exercise side of it. But got back into playing rugby. I actually ended up playing scrum half when I was over in the States,
Did you?
because
Nice.
I'm good in my hands. I can kick a ball. I understood how to play rugby. So I was doing lots of running. So like the weight was falling off me, but I was losing muscle. I was dating a girl at the time who was probably the bones of like 55, 60 kilos, who had me kind of eating like she did. So like I do remember, I think I did it for one of Carl's talks. I was talking about like secret eating. I used to wake up in the middle of the night starving, absolutely starving. I'd sneak down to the kitchen. I think we lived with like eight, we lived with what's it, maybe eight, nine people inside the house. And I used to be like fucking Gollum, hunched over with the door of the fridge open, picking at bits of food, trying to feed myself so I wouldn't like die in the middle of the night. Yeah, and I think then I come home after that, and funnily enough, I think I talked about this with Sky and Sophia the other weekend that like you wouldn't have known I had an eating disorder because of how heavy I was beforehand.
I think when you hear eating disorder, you think bulimia and anorexia. That's
Yeah, and
what
like
you hear in your head.
I had bulimia nervosa. Like, I spent 3 months thinking I was sick. Certain foods I'd have to go throw up. I didn't know what was going on. Obviously, didn't talk to anyone about it until I think I told a therapist what was happening, and they were like, I actually think you have an eating disorder." And I was like, right. Like I look great in a suit, you know. A
Yeah.
smile will hide everything that's fucking
It does,
going
yeah.
on.
You can
You
only
know?
tell by someone's eyes.
Yeah, and like I think it was it. I did Rosa Tralee as an escort in
Fair
2017.
play.
Yeah, yeah, up here, man, it's a lot more fun. Like you do, you carry a handbag and you drink for nearly every day. But like, I was cutting and stuff before that. I think I was on like 1,200 calorie days. Now I worked with a nutritionist who kept trying to stop me doing certain things like that. When I was doing certain things, he was trying to make sure I stayed healthy as possible. Nutrition wise, I probably was getting the most nutrients out of anyone you'd know. Quality of food was very good, but you'd get to some weekend, you'd have something on, you were drinking like a fish, you were still partying with all your supplements and everything on that side of it. You were eating next to fucking nothing. That I think I got down to when I was in the States at the start of it, I was like about 83 kilos,
So you went from 150 to 83.
down to 83. Now that's I came back, I couldn't bench 40 kilos. I was super weak. I think I built up a bit of weight again before I'd gone fully into the like bit of the eating disorder. I think 90 kilos was what I was around 2017, 1991. I have photos of it, man. Like if you looked at me in a suit, like you'd be like, there's nothing wrong with this guy. He's in prime condition. I was playing Division One AIL rugby. Like I was doing well on the outside. My mental health and like my mental health was in the toilet. There was no improvement in performance in the gym or on the field. It's fucked. It was my first bout of therapy.
And what was the trigger for the ED?
No, man, I could never fully put. Well, do you mean how it started or what set it off?
Both.
um, at the time, I would have said a bad breakup and then go into that whole revenge body thing would have been one of the
Yeah.
first things. It's like, well,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
gonna again now. I do remember we had myself and that ex had a fight one time, and I think it was I don't know what I was doing anyway, but I think she like grabbed my chest and like honked it
But like a horn.
like a fucking horn, yeah, basically. And I remember getting upset about it, and she couldn't understand why I was upset. And at one point, I was like, "Well, of course it's fucking upsetting." I was like, "If you had anything going on and I grabbed you like that, how would it fucking go the other way around?" And I think it was said to me, it was like, "If you don't want to be upset by it, lose them."
Oh.
Yeah, so that was probably the first fucking trigger that,
Oh wow.
yeah, like from someone who already had body image issues for years growing up from a young age, like 11, 12, 10, 11, 12. I think I noticed that's when it was starting.
Would you
Um,
have spoken about body image pieces with the ex, or was it kind of like you blocked it out completely, just like
oh,
this?
I blocked it out. Like I was Irish in America before I met her. lean enough, you know, you did well. Like everyone
I'm,
wants
I'm
to
doing
talk.
the maths right now, Ger, and it's sent.
Yeah, do you know, like it's
Yeah,
fair. It's fairly easy how my life went when I was over there. Would
yeah, yeah.
you probably murder someone in America at that point and get away with it with the smile and the fucking accent, like. But that was probably the big trigger for Joe. I'm gonna get super lean. I'm gonna get small. I'm gonna get skinny. That's what it was. I was gonna get skinny, and I fucking did it. Got down quite low, but like you could see it. I think there was a photo one of my aunts saw at the Rosa Tralee. It was the one point where I wasn't smiling, and she was like, "You look like you need sleep." And like, yes, I did need sleep, but like I was done. So mentally drained. Like I used to go for meals with the lads, standard dinners, and I'd just feel nauseous. I'd have to go run to the bathroom, get sick. I'd come back, and then I wouldn't finish whatever's there. And they were like, "You all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just feeling full. Don't know what it is." Then you might binge eat then another night
Yeah.
on stuff that technically in your head should be the thing that would trigger the ED. Like, you trigger like, sweets and different stuff. You'd think that would be the thing that would set you off, but that was the comfort side of it then at like 2 in the morning.
And
Um,
how did you navigate it? And what help did you get?
um, therapy was the first one. Sobriety was the other side of it. Then like I gained weight again. I kind of I just changed. It was I'm going to eat whatever I'm going to eat. And I'm going to try doing that for a while, see how it goes. Body image stuff creep back in a little bit, but I was able to keep down food. That was it was kind of it was a catch 22. It was like you may not be happy with your aesthetics right now, but you're not randomly getting sick when you eat something, which is it's a fucking win. A huge win. And like I even said to someone there recently, like I'm just over 120 odd kilos now, in and around there. I'm not far off. So I'm not far off the weight I was when I was at my heaviest. Outside of a shoulder injury, like that I'm recovering from, I'm my strongest, I'm my fittest, I have my best food relationship.
I love
And
that reframe. I absolutely love that
I,
reframe.
I won't say my mental health is perfect because that's something I have lots of things I
Yeah.
need to work on. But like as a whole, I am 30 odd kilos heavier than I was when I had an eating disorder, and I am in a way healthier position overall.
I love that reframe.
And it's the thing, like the 91 kilo lad that had the eating disorder and the poor mental wouldn't have gone and run a 10K on Sunday. Wouldn't have mentally been able to do it, wouldn't have physically been able to do it. That guy back then, you may want to pick him as your PT, he would have ruined your life.
And how do you catch yourself now? Because like the fitness industry is a weird one. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. It is weird.
Yeah, like I know you see a lot of people doing, it's the your body isn't your business card.
Yes, like Sophia and stuff like that would,
Sophia
and
does a lot of
Michelle
that.
and all that kind of stuff.
And
Yeah.
like it's a hard one to navigate because obviously like I have heard from people that other people have said, well, he should look a certain way if he's going to be coaching, people to better health. And I'm like, yeah, you could say that. And like, I think at the start of the year, I was looking at going back into another fat loss period. And I said it to Sophia and Sky. I was like, I started it and I caught myself a few habits and a few thoughts coming back in from when I was back in the eating disorder days or low mental health. And I was like, fuck that, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I was like, I'm going to eat good food, enjoy my food. I'm going to exercise more. I'm going to get myself to feel better. I was like, I'm just going to be more active and that'll help me with the fat loss rather than I'm going to start cutting this, cutting that. Because slowly those old habits start to creep back in, and all of a sudden, then you're back into the old frame of mind. But like the whole body, your body is your business card. My business card is helping people get stronger, get fitter, have more confidence in a space where they had no confidence. Um, I have people that have gone to the gym for the first time, a public gym for the first time on their own without me telling them to go. Like someone went on holidays, they sent me a video of them inside in a gym, never once told them to go. I have people who've set up their own home gym. I have my client who fucking is the reason I had to do the fucking 10K on Sunday. Um, a year and a bit ago, wouldn't have gone out walking. She's there finishing a 10. I think she did a 10K before the summer. She's out running now a couple of times a week. She's doing Pilates. She can gym on her own. You know, it's my business card is getting people into a place where they believe they deserve to have that space. They deserve to have that space in the fitness industry anyway, but it's where they believe it. That's my business card.
It's it, it's something I've fought against mentally.
Yeah,
Relation to, I remember when I first, because I was late to the PT world. I only started doing PT from the age of 30.
yeah.
It was late enough I had never set foot in front of a gym before I did my PT course.
Okay.
So every day was a PB day. Um, they were great days.
Yeah, so
Um,
jealous.
they actually have to work for it.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. A 2.5 kilo gain on an exercise
yeah,
after like a couple of months is fantastic.
yeah, it's great. Even on a rep. Um, but I remember when I first went into PT, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to do a fitness photo shoot. Like, and you're kind of like, all I got out of it was a fear of fake tan and smell of it, and a
I'll give you a little trick there, man. The tinted cocoa butter.
I'm not going near it
But it's
unless I get
I
used to
did I
cocoa
did it
butter.
once. I did it once for photos because it was like middle of winter, and I had my ex put it on, and like they were. I think one of the lads was like, "You might need another coat." I regret doing the extra coat of it because I came out a different fucking shade, but it smells nice. I said this to some of the girls. I was like, "Just use that. It's cheaper. It smells nice." But yeah,
I even get the bleh.
I'd love to do a. I would love to do a photo shoot soon at some point when I wouldn't even say feel more comfortable, just when I like
I'm ready.
hurt my shoulder back end of October 2023 playing a rugby game. I dislocated my shoulder. I damaged the infra and supraspinatus, and I shredded my labral tendon. So like I
Proper
spent
labor.
months not being able to lift my arm even just out to my side. I'm only just back at like my base weight on certain exercises. So I'd like to, and I was in good physical and aesthetic condition before the injury. Like I was, as my brother jokes, he was like, we always get to our fucking prime and then something happens.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, so I want to kind of build back a bit, but like, I wasn't running 10K back then, so that's a win. My legs are stronger. My headspace around injuries and food is better again. So like there's a lot of positives from injuries. I grew my business while I hurt myself. So like I want to do a photo shoot after I've got another, maybe 6 to 10 months under my belt of kind of normality, but I'm gonna do a fun one. I'm gonna do like a bathtub full of cupcakes and like fucking cheeseburgers
And
and
like, what's that movie with the ladies that kind of do they're in like their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and they kind of do the naked calendar with the cupcakes over the
it's the
nipples.
calendar girls, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Basically something like that. That's I just think like do a shoot that makes it fun, not a like look, fair play to a lot of people that do the shoots and the discipline it takes to get there. But you never get to see photos 6 months later.
Yeah, and I think that's because I've coached clients for fitness photo shoots, but I'm like, you have to agree to the 2 or 3 months afterwards in order
Yeah,
for the aftercare, because I know so many coaches that do it, and right, it's their business, they can do what they want, but the aftercare is where most people go a little bit haywire.
Yeah, like I think it is the big thing where like people forget that like regardless of what your goal is, right? Whether it's a shoot like that or you know run a distance, swim a distance, or you know have a certain aesthetic. If you want to keep it, you have to keep going. That's the biggest issue. Like I think it was myself and Joshua Hills were joking. We're like any kind of running over an hour is stupid. And I was like, but the worst part is if you keep running an hour, you're gonna keep getting fitter, so you're gonna have to do a longer distance anyway.
Yeah.
You're just gonna keep improving. But like I find that with like I could coach someone to do one of those shoots. I can do it. I've coached long distance runners. I've like even when I still despise running, but like but when I actually just when I despised it and didn't do any of it, I coached people through that. So it's the whole business body of your business card is bollocks because then it's like you look at coaches that train Olympic athletes or
Exactly. If you look at the
rugby teams.
Jamaican the Jamaican sprinting coach does not look like a sprinter.
No, look at the NFL coaches. Look at some of the international rugby coaches. Yeah, outside of the odd few, do you know, but like they couldn't do it now. Do you know, it's like, do you get to like then you may start making a rule of like, right, when you can't do it, you're not allowed to coach it anymore.
Well,
You
it's
know,
interesting. You're talking about the buy the business card thing. I noticed I got sent a few screenshots from what's going on with the whole Joe Wicks argument at the minute. And a lot of people's thing was that nutritionists, well, there's one person who's saying that the nutritionists and stuff like that aren't really getting the point of it. But you can kind of see some of the comments that are under those posts are like, if this is what our nutritionists and PTs and dietitians look
look like
the industry is fucked.
yeah, yeah.
It's like
It's
it's almost like you take medical advice on health from doctors. Not all doctors
no.
look aesthetically the way that people perceive them to be.
I have clients who've had doctors tell them not to lift heavy weights because of this and that,
Yeah,
or
I've had that.
don't do a certain exercise because of this and that. Well, I'm not a fucking doctor, and I can't say they're wrong because they're doing those exercises, they're stronger and they're moving better. So I'm
But
not going to say my qualification is better than them. I'm definitely not going to say that. But you know, anyone can say anything. You can say whatever the fuck you want. Like, it doesn't mean it's right.
yeah, as my dad says, opinions are like arseholes. Everyone has one.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and it's like it's that thing is like I've looked at it other ways as well that like if someone says I can't coach someone through fat loss because I'm the shape I am right now, then you technically shouldn't be allowed to coach someone who's overweight if you've never been overweight. You don't get it. Do you know, if we're gonna make these fucking arguments on technicalities, I'm like, if you've never been overweight, then you don't understand what it is to go through the process of losing weight. So you shouldn't be allowed to coach someone. Like we can find a reason not to coach someone, just like a coach who's on performance enhancers shouldn't be allowed to coach someone because they have to take performance enhancers to get where they are.
It's a very good counter argument, but
Do you
not going to
know?
get into an argument. But it's a very good counterpoint.
Do you know, it's that idea. I'm like I look at it for me coaching people through fat loss or exercise, I'm doing it from the side that's trying to help prevent them from doing all the awful things you can do to yourself in the pursuit of an hour of photos.
Yeah.
You know the awful things you can do because like it's you see those photo shoots and I do stand by to some of them fair play the fucking discipline it takes to do that because fuck that if I was going to give up all those lovely things we have in life that are only 5 minutes down the road in the shops. But like, tell me, have you ever seen a video of people after doing those photo shoots or after doing those comps where the first thing they aren't doing is having a box of donuts or a pizza delivered and hounding
I
hounding
went
it.
for a burger. I went
Yeah,
to Belfast. I went to one of the big. or is it Michael's, I think it's called. One of the big burger places up in Belfast, and literally just couldn't get enough into me.
Like you've been pulled off a deserted
Oh,
island.
it was literally like
You know?
it was like I saw the red mist just
Yeah.
hit, and I was like,
And
it's like I never eaten before in my life.
I always I like, and a big one for me on that stuff is I may not be exactly where I won't say majority, because I think we're kind of, the numbers are starting to even out, you know? Like, a lot of people won't come to your defense. It doesn't mean they don't back you, but like most of the loudest people making comments like that are the ones that just don't get it. Come train with me. Come swim with me. Come run with me. Like, a lot of the people who make the comments can't do half the shit the people that they're giving out about can do. I know some coaches who don't fit the aesthetic mold inside in the gym. They're fucking beasts. Absolute beasts. Performance wise, they're nuts. And if you look at most athletes, they don't look like influencers should.
No, they don't.
They're not shredded all year round. They're not, you know, they're I actually talked about clients to this earlier. I was like, if you want to improve strength and performance, you're not going to do it in a deficit.
No, it's too hard to do it, and it's too like
No. And I
there's
was like, you can go maintenance calories and you can up your activity. You'll still create your deficit that way, but you're still going to have to up your intake. It's eventually going to have to happen. Like,
and it's hard, and it is that it's that's the other side of it is when you start to see that little bit more appearing on certain body parts or whatever might be of your top off, you get a little bit conscious. That's the bit I've always struggled with. And I've had coaches before of you get to a point where you're like, it used to be a number on a scales that used to tip me over.
yeah,
As soon as I got past 80, it used to tip me over when I was
right,
doing the bulk because I'd be my appetite's quite low.
right.
I I can forget to eat.
I have that. I have that, but then I do either side of it.
Yeah, so I when I forget to eat, then I go too past hungry and I have no interest and I just won't. So I have the other thing. People are like, I wish I had that. I was like, you fucking don't. I'm that side of it. Other people have the other side of it is that food is a thing when they get stressed.
Yeah, mine is obviously with my meds. There's, you know, I won't eat. I won't be hungry during certain hours. Without my meds, I have ADHD, so I forget. So like, I have to then watch out for overeating.
Yeah. And
Over,
that is that and I that's probably
you
some element
know?
of
And like
ADHD too.
the thing with the weight, like my mates always joke now because, like, you know, they know I have performance goals, they know I have aesthetic goals. So does a lot of my clients, and like I always joke, they're like, "What?" There's some people are like, "What weight do you want to be?" I'm like, "I don't want to go below 100 kilos." And they're like, "Why?" And I was like, "Because I like the triple digits. I like the number. I think 100's fine. If I dip below, I'm going to eat some cake." And I'm like, that's just the way I want to be. I want to be able to do all the things
You
that
want
I
to be
want to
strong.
be able to do
Yeah.
and do it solid. I
And
want to
it's
be
fun.
able to run a long distance as a big, thick fucking fucker, like, you know, big, thick thighs, a wide back. I want to be able to swim and run like other people and just be like, fuck, you know, you're moving, you're like shifting weight around, like,
But it is, as you said, like it is harder to see the numbers going up on the weights and performance and stuff like that when you are
no,
in an episode. Obviously, if you're starting out new, it's they're going to fly up.
it's great.
When you get to a point after 2, 3 years, you're kind of
Yeah.
like it gets harder.
Newbie games are fantastic. And
The
like,
gains
I
are
even
fantastic.
joked with like one of the girls there, like, I always say, like, winter's your game phase. I'm like, you're gonna be wearing baggy clothes and jackets. I was like, eat the food, train like a fucking animal.
Yeah,
I was like, just go at it. And I was like, once you get yourself close to spring, you start looking at your lean out, because I was like, performance isn't going to improve when you're trying to do that. But like, I find with the body image thing funny, like, um photos and videos taken, whether they're at events or stuff, like I get a bit of a double chin. I normally get it from bloat, or if I've eaten a certain thing the day before or drank at the weekend, you know, as the other one. And it's funny, like, I'll always say to people, like, a photo is just a moment in time at a good or a bad angle. You know, that's what it is. And like, I'll see photos of myself, I'm like, oh, I don't like that. I'm like, yeah, but it's not a photo the way I take a photo. You know, literally the difference between holding a camera here and holding a camera
Oh,
down here
it's massive. Yeah, yeah.
completely changes how you look. And like I would have said maybe the week before my event, I was very happy with the way my body was going, performance wise, aesthetic wise. Week of the event, I wasn't too happy about it. And I had to remind myself, I'm like, I haven't changed dramatically over those 7 days. You know, I haven't changed dramatically. My food changed a little bit. My sleep got worse. My training outside of running decreased. I had a couple of extra drinks. Stress was chaos. You know, it was absolute chaos. And like you start adding up all those things, I'm like, well, you're gonna look tired. You're gonna look puffy. You're gonna look bloated. And I'm like, and then you're gonna pick yourself apart anyway, because
Yeah,
you're
when you get
not.
tired and stuff, that Frank thing will appear when you
Frank
get
takes
tired.
over.
The
Like, so
lowest
like
form.
that's
It,
the big thing. That's the big thing with all that stuff is like, so it's I do find like I know we kind of can circle back to like talk about the being a certain shape in the fitness industry is a challenge because people look at aesthetics and performance differently. No, they don't like everyone looks at I can't remember was it one of the strong men? Was it maybe one of the
Eddie
Stoneman
Hall.
brothers? Huh?
Eddie Hall.
No, it wasn't Eddie Hall. I think it was did you know the two Scottish brothers, they Stoltmans or
Mm-hmm.
it might have been one of them. It was some strongman anyway. He just goes, he was like, um, a six pack is a sign you're not eating enough. You know, and it just makes me laugh because I'm like, it all depends on what your goal is. Like if your goal is to get super lean and not increase your performance, well, then you're going to eat less and you're not going to increase your performance and you'll lose fat. If your goal is to increase your performance, probably going to gain a bit of weight. Like, you can't get a dump, like I always say to girls, like, you can't get a dump truck ass if you're going to starve yourself.
Yeah,
Not going to
1,200
work.
calories ain't gonna get you toned.
No, no, no. It's going to get you into a suit from Zara, though.
Jesus, Zara sizes.
Man, I was top size, the very biggest size off the rack suit in Zara for that Rose of Tree 20. I remember my brother like jokingly high fived me. He was like, "You're probably the first Horan in our family to be able to get a fucking suit from Zara." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't think two of the jackets together would fit me now."
Jeez, no, like Zara's next level. Like Zara's, I never understand why the lighting is so shit in Zara. If they want me to, if they want you to buy the clothes, they're doing a fucking awful job.
Do you know what the one that we talked about calling out people, and it seems we've gone on to clothes. I have a big fucking pet peeve with obviously I have a pet peeve with clothes size because finding them is fucking impossible. Like Zara, like certain brands, they're tailored for certain people. So like a 4XL will look like it's fucking painted onto me. But I'm gonna call out this one because it's one that makes me laugh. Is Gym Plus Coffee, right?
Oh yes,
Okay, so Gym Plus Coffee sizing is also another brand that's bollocks, right? And I have two reasons why it's bollocks. When Gym Plus Coffee have people take photos of them wearing their clothes for social media and stuff, they tend to always share it on social media with the face cut off. Unless you look a certain way, your face is cut off. And the reason is because if you can wear the clothes, you're going to be a certain shape. You're going to be fine. Obviously, if they don't like the look of your face, which I'm sorry to say to people, is like they're going to only just show the torso so they can highlight selling their clothes. I went into the shop, they had in Limerick at one point to find a pair of shorts. I think might have been 2XL they had at the time, and I went to put them on, and I'm telling you, if I moved, I was going to blow out the back of them. So I like popped my head out through the curtain, and there was a lady and a lad working there, and I was like, "Lads, you don't have any bigger ones?" And they were like, "No, that's the biggest size we have." And I was like, "Really?" And I was like, "It's Gym Plus Coffee, like, you know, I was big, but I wasn't big enough to be, the biggest size. That kind of way.
yeah, I
There should
understand. Yeah,
should be way bigger." And they were like, "Ah, yeah, but like, the sizing's fairly good." And I was like, "Well, I'm wearing a medium pair of shorts from Nike, so explain that to me."
Shapers.
Do you know the sizing? I know they talked about it maybe last year, the year before, about bringing in like a global sizing chart. Like I don't care if I have to wear 5 or 6 XL. I don't care as long as it fits me.
Just want something to wear. You want to feel
I
confident.
don't
You want
want.
to feel
I don't.
comfy. You want to be like you just want to feel good.
You don't want to have to like buy 3 versions of the same top online, trying to figure out which one's going to fit you, and you send back the other two. Like,
Yeah,
you know, you want to go in, try on something, and like, if it says it's a 38-inch waist, it should fit you. If it says, don't 50 some, I think was it. I had a black tie wedding in it was December last year, and I went into Next, found a lovely fucking black velvet jacket, but the only way to get it to fit my arms and my back was to get a 56-inch
oh,
chest.
chest.
And I haven't had a 56 to 58-inch chest since I was 149, 50 kilos. So I was kind of like, oh, fuck this. But I had to get it tailored in the middle because you could have like put it to the side of my hip. And there was so much
Oh,
there. My brother's wedding in May didn't lose. I had planned to lose weight for it. I basically just stayed the same and got a bit fitter. I think was it a 50?
oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I know fucking I know we'll always joke like every inch matters until like if women take out a fucking ruler and look at 6 inches. 6 inches is quite fucking big. It's a big variance in things. You know?
Well, what a lovely note to finish on, Jer.
Oh great. That's what I'm gonna be
Yeah,
remembered for.
just
Measuring
that
dicks.
little note there, or not so little note. Jer, where can people find out about you on social media? Where can people work with you? Where can people? Because I know there's kind of weird chatting off air and stuff like that. Hopefully, we have something kind of with classes and stuff like that up your down your way.
Yeah, no, I'm face to face. I'm online. I know we talked about the events. I'm probably gonna have more events and collaborate with a couple of other coaches. I'll be talking to you as well about stuff like that. Lift and Laugh Fitness.
Perfect.
That's where you'll
Well,
find me. You type me into Google, you'll find me.
perfect. Well, the links will be in the show notes if people are down your neck of the woods. But Jer, I cannot thank you enough for coming on. Thank you.
No, thank you for having me.